They actually do it here to prepare themselves. So, and again, video-based learning is a very important part. So whether it's academics or football, we've ensured that they all learn through visual mediums because cognitive skills basically accelerate your learning. So there's a lot of science behind what we've thought through. Of course, when you walk into each of the rooms, you will be able to do that. So let me start the tour. I think I've become really good at this after my 15th attempt now. So let's start the tour with a quick view of the video lab that is on the right hand side here. So there are AI cameras fitted on the parks. All the tracking of the players will happen consistently, and we also have tools that will track, monitor players in terms of their fitness, in terms of their nutrition. We have sensors on the boots. We've tried to bring the best youth-based tech that will help these guys to learn and accelerate their learnings, and also help coach. We will only get better with all these infrastructure. So infrastructure is not just physical nowadays, it's also digital. So digital infrastructure has become very, very important. I'm sure that in all our professions, we are using so many tools that can enhance our ability to make decisions. So this is again a standard stuff that happens across the world. So we're trying to align to best practice, but yet not being mindless and trying to do too much jazz. Because there's some things only works for pro levels, but some things works for youth levels, especially with illustrations and all the analysis that can happen around the same. All these are cloud-based platforms, so people can do this on the go, watch this. So we've set up this center in a lot of ways. Of course, these are all very simple things that we've invested in. So the big boys are the football fields that we've actually put a lot of thoughts and tried to say that, okay, that's our must-have. These are all good to have. That's about it. Thank you. So this is also Bengaluru FC is going to use this today, and our home team is going to use the other one. Dray hall. The dray hall, dray is the resting place of squirrels. So now this is the hostel for squirrels. So that's why it's called the dray hall. So this dray hall is basically, it has 2-sharing, 4-sharing dormitories for the kids to actually stay and have a comfortable stay. Here I would like to make a statement that, typically in academies you live multiple lives. So here kids live a normal life of a 14-year-old or a 15-year-old, like any one of us. But as they go into the learning center, they live a life of a student. And when they go here, they live a life of a footballer. So typically they're living 3 lives. Our idea is to make sure that how they can actually live that life truly in every sense, so that it's created that way. So this is a very chilled out area. We're going to make some nice stuff around here for them to chill and stuff. But more importantly, we'll have a look at one dormitory, one room, and we'll have a look at the Acorn Cafe, the cafeteria, where the kids will dine as well. So what's the entry level? It's not an underprivileged story or something like that. This is where every talent has a chance. Every talent will be given a chance is where we are starting. So this year we scouted 2,416 kids across the country, out of which easily about 20% are them from Tamil Nadu, and a few of them from the southern states, a few from the northeastern states. So we've scouted these people. Out of 2,416, the top 100 were invited to Chennai for a final trial. They went through a rigorous 7-day camp, and after that we selected the top 50 across these 3 groups, and these are the guys who are awarded the scholarships. Scholarship means entire football training, education, life skills, their entire thing. Our kids, everything is completely through the FC Madras program, and this is how we want to actually, this is the model that will actually work, because now slowly you correct. All these days are coming. So we identify because slightly more privacy than a dormitory, but it's all well thought through, galvanized iron stuff so that it won't break, even if they jump on the beds or whatever. But it's designed in a way where we've had some high ceilings, just to create a much more homely atmosphere rather than look like a hotel room or something like that. So that's the idea behind it. So this is not a typical dormitory. This can house up to 20 kids, but the idea here is that even visiting teams can use this facility. Typically, visiting teams can stay here, play games, and go back. Again, this is for younger kids who we can have them in a pack. It's a much more enjoyable experience, I guess. But dormitories is part of anyone's growing years, so it's set up in a reasonably elegant way, if I may say. Showers, 6 restrooms. So we've designed everything accordingly to house all these people in the best way that's there. I think that the simplicity in having a normal cafe is what we're trying to achieve. But more importantly, I think diet and nutrition plays an important part in an athlete's development life cycle. So we're trying to address that by customized menus, even add a dash of a little Indianness in our menus, like starting with turmeric milk in the morning or in the night, rather than just the most Western way of trying to do that. So we have a very, very well-equipped kitchen that also has a bakery ability to make our own cakes and all those things. So we try to be self-sustaining here as much as possible. Development of an organic farm right across there is on the cards. So we want to try to see if we can really build a, especially this is the heart of an athlete's life cycle. If you're able to nail this, you can be rest assured that the skills will take care of itself and the other things will take care of itself. So not given much importance to the seats and the chairs here, but given a lot of importance to what happens inside. So that's the overall concept about it. So we do blood tests, we do all the tests to understand what will work for each of them. But most of the time, it is unless and until someone has an allergy or something like that, it is most of the time a common diet that goes in most of the for everyone. It works. As you grow older, it's when the problems start, where all the gluten free and all those things come into play. But as they're growing up, a lot of things are common. Splash, of course, a swimming pool. There's nothing new that you see in a swimming pool, but more importantly, the use case is that the swimming pool is used for recovery. Recovery is a very, very important concept in sport for avoiding injuries more than anything else. So it's a recovery center in a lot of ways. The swimming pool is a half-size Olympic swimming pool, 25 meters, can have 6 lanes. The idea is that, of course, apart from swimming classes, we also have a hot tub and a cold tub. So the idea here is that recovery in ice baths and everything, we have taken it from the change room and put it here so that more people can actually do recovery at one single point of time because of the numbers that we actually have. So we've tried to optimize that as much as possible, but this is something that many academies in the world also haven't thought through. So definitely something that we've been able to think out of the box to bring the recovery pieces into the swimming pool itself. Otherwise, most of the time it's inside the change room. Even in other sports, cricket, it's all a tub. People go inside a tub and take an ice bath and come out because of the lack of space. So here we try to see if even if it's a English Premier League team that can come here, they will have more than what they can get even back at their own homes. The other thing is there's also a STP plant which adds to our sustainability story, where the STP will be used to the water for the fields and everything. As you can see on behind you and in front of you are the fields. So I'll use the shade to explain, otherwise it's getting a little hot now. And so the fields are named, so this is the artificial turf that you see here. The artificial turf is a full-size FIFA approved field. This is very normal. You can see it in a 5-a-side, 7-a-side in any of your neighborhoods or whatever. But this is mainly to expose them to different conditions. So the synthetic turf Then there is a natural turf, which is a natural field that anywhere in the top stadiums in India would have. But the jewel is the hybrid turf on the right hand side that the gallery faces. The hybrid turf is something that this is the same one that Tottenham has in their academies. So this is probably the first in Southeast Asia in terms of the hybrid turf. The hybrid technology requires lesser water. It has got a USDA base, drains faster. It is probably the gold standard of football that we tried to build here, bring here, so that the kids can actually get accustomed to different conditions. And hopefully one day, I am very confident that a lot of international teams are going to come here, camp here, and train here for sure. So it is built for that as well. It is all broadcast ready on 1000 lux plus. These are not broadcast ready. These are all for training only. But on the other side, the natural field, it's the longest field in India. It's 155 by 74, which is basically to optimize the entire football wear and tear issue that happens. So we can train on one side one day, allow it to recover, train on the other side. Goalkeeping training can happen separately. So all the skill work, whatever needs to do for the skill work is all available. All the goalposts are movable. So there's nothing permanent, as you can see. So we can use it for multi-purposes. This pitch mainly is also going to be used for a lot of community engagement, so that people can contribute to our program through coming and playing here, and for our camps and clinics and that we do for the larger community, which will be a paid program. And of course behind you is a business center. So it's called the Oakwood Business Center. Sorry, before that, this ground is called the Bushy Tail Meadow. The natural grass is called the Furry Field, and the hybrid is called the Scamper Park. So all are squirrel-based, analogies that we've tried to use. So the business center is also built for the corporate media, everyone to kind of come and contribute and use it. Typically, this model is available world over, where people come and do meetings and everything. And we are asking, don't go to a 5-star hotel, come and do your meetings here. Connect to the purpose of the project. The money that you pay here will go to the development of the athlete, is how we are kind of positioning it as well. And this entire block is the performance block. So you will, as we walk across, you will see that we have a medical center, we have a locker room, we have a gym, and we have the gallery on top. So we can quickly take a walk there. And the press conference is going to be here, and lunch is also going to be served here. So we can quickly go all the way there and come back. And gym on the left, you have the locker rooms here, you have the medical center on the right. So this is the locker room area. This is the tunnel where people will go for a game. But more importantly, the locker rooms are designed for 4 age groups, and it is also designed for men and women. Because the restrooms are also designed like that. So if there's a women's game, the restrooms will be locked from inside and all those things. So there are 4 change rooms and common washrooms, and there's a separate referee changing room behind on the left. So these are all standard wise. We also thought through a little bit around how to accommodate 4 teams in one go and all those things. So that's one view of the change room. This is a simpler change room. This is a slightly jazzed up change room here, available here. But mainly from a youth setup perspective, we've tried to jazz this up a little bit when maybe one day the Indian team or anyone, a pro team might come and they would require certain things in a particular way. So all these things are set up that way in a lot of ways. There are enough change rooms, showers and everything inside. So it's pretty well equipped, thought through from a use case standpoint. Actually very, very even. I think Goa recently, they made probably be the second one that's there. So it's still, I think it'll take another 1 week for it to really look like classy. And this is the reason why we did this, is because also you need to expose these skilled athletes to different conditions, different turfs. So unless and until you know that, they can't compete at a global level. So we thought that okay, this will also be an attraction for foreign teams to come here and play us, and that will increase the competition. So in India, competition is the issue. So if we can get stronger teams to come here and play against us, that's where we are winning, because better competition means better skills, they are going to get better. So that's the entire idea around this. And again, if you look at the entire thing, we also created some bunds. So in case we have a festive game or something like that, we can still put canopies. Unfortunately, we can't serve beers here, but the rest of the things can happen. And that's the gallery, 500-seater gallery. And you can see a view of the business center there. And on the left is going to be the gym once we start to use the academy. So that will also provide some water to the entire thing. So this is the created mainly for that. And more importantly, the gym has a lot of other things, like for example, 32 people at one time can actually train, because we have to optimize on the batches. We've thought through a very youth focused gym. So in a commercial gym, you'll find 10 treadmills for sure, and here there's only one treadmill, but we've invested more on bikes. So very specific to youth training, especially in football. What are all the requirements? The monkey bars. There's a lot of academies have these setups across the world. So we've tried to align as much as with the global standard around putting this together. This will also double up as an elite training facility for people to come, recover, do their things. Elite footballers or pro teams can also come and train and do that. So it's also designed for elite as well, but mainly from a use case, at least for, I'm assuming 250 days in a year, it will be the youth cadets who will be using it.
Open for corporates also.
Again, community engagement, mass training, a lot of things can happen there. So we want to also make sure that futsal is something that we can promote and get the community to play that, because it's a slightly easier sport to play than football. So it's where you will have lunch, but more importantly for board meetings, corporate meetings, leadership meets, we've created some facilities here, shells that can be converted into discussion rooms and stuff. More importantly, on the extreme side is the media room that we thought about. If at all we are having an important game where, let's say, Tottenham is playing FC Madras, for example, and the media is invited, so we can convert that into a complete media room. They can watch the game, file their stories, and the entire campus is going to be internet enabled and all those things. So we have 188 security cameras, as I mentioned, 1,800 plantations around the entire campus. So, and a Milwaukee forest as well. So that's more from a climate change perspective that we are building that. I think that the architect maybe, that's a gold standard again that we're trying to align to. But apart from that, there's not anything different here. It's just spaces that we can ask the corporate media and larger community to use and connect with the project in the best way.
So your facility for staying this.
Been constructed in under 2 years. So May 2021 is when we bought the land. It was a watermelon field, and today you can see the academy in its full bloom. So I think under 2 years we have actually created this. So our vision, our dream is to create a Messi from Madras. At the same time, what sets us apart, what makes us different is our mission. How are we going to go about this? We want to create champions for life, not just champions for the sport. And what do I mean by that? If you take any professional football academy in the world, only 2% of athletes in life. And we all know in India, like when we were younger, it is always education or sport, right? We were forced to choose between the two. Now we are saying that's how we are going to be different. Our mission is going to be champions for life, not just champions for the sport, which means 2% will be champions for the sport, or 3, who knows what the number is, but everybody else 100% will win in life. So and we do that with a holistic focus on education, life skills. So the building that you're sitting in here is called Alman Learning Center, where the children will be attending class, they will have life skills, we teach them chess for spatial awareness, strategy and so on. So there's a lot of things that we have brought together to create these champions for life. And the core belief is that champions can be engineered with the right amount of investment. If you have the right infrastructure, if you have a focus on nutrition, like if you think about athletes in Europe or South America, the physical fitness that they have, the agility and the speed that they have, the strength, endurance, we have to work on all of that. So the program is designed to work on the athletes over the years, focusing on nutrition, focusing on fitness, focusing on speed, agility, endurance, skill, and with the whole belief that if you have the right infrastructure, right time, and the investment in time, we champions can be engineered. And there are so many other countries that have done that, and we hope that. I'm actually saying today seems like for a lot of folks in the building, like the architect who's constructed this and for the project, it's a dream come true moment for them. It's a completion of their work. But I think for FC Madras, for us, the work starts now. So the work starts now for our coaches, for our athletes to realize another bigger dream, which is someday we will have our Messi from Madras. So thank you. We have done the capital expenditure. To sustain this, we need a lot more support. The whole community has to come together. So we would definitely be open. And we are an ATG charitable trust, so we can take donations from people who want to contribute.
Anybody can forward to donate for this project?
So in 2018, like when we created the charitable trust, a few of my friends had the grand total I think was less than 1 crore or 75 lakhs came from some of my friends, but that was all used in 2018 and 2019. So we have not really gone to anybody till now because we just also you have to understand government did not allow us to open the hostel because of COVID. Only this year we are allowed to open. So we are just restarting now, and we haven't gone to anybody till now, but we will be.
So how many scouting programs you conducted across the nation with the candidates?
So, DJ, you want to take it?
So we have a nationwide scouting network that we put in place. For example, the last intake, we scouted in 19 locations across the country. And starting from Thuttur, which is the tip of Tamil Nadu, near Kanyakumari, where players like Susai Raj have all emerged, and it's a talented. So like this, the entire coaching team has identified pockets in the country where we went and scouted, conducted trials in major parts of Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, moved to West Bengal, then the Northeast, then we had trial in Punjab. So we've been able to cover the football pockets in the country, and the last year we scouted 2,416 students. There's a beautiful video on YouTube that you can go and access on our YouTube channel, which encompasses all our scouting journey as well. So 2,416 kids were scouted. Out of them, the top 100 were invited to Chennai for a 7-day trial. And post that, the top 50 were selected as part of the scholarship program provided by the academy.
Yeah, one thing I can talk about and you can add on is age fraud, right? So when we find a lot of candidates, so AIFF has prescribed the bone density test, which even though it's not 100% accurate, it is a very good, reliable, reasonably reliable mechanism. So we saw that while there were several kids who would have qualified based on the criteria that we did, we put through all the selected candidates through a bone density test, and then we found out that some of the kids' ages were not as they mentioned, so we had rejected all of them. So we have a pledge, and our appeal to all parents also is longer term it's not good for professional players. So we, as in India, we have to fight that as a country. So that is definitely one of the challenges that I can call out. And as a community of sport and community of football, we all have to come together to eradicate age fraud if we really want to win. And so I would definitely call it out as one of the challenges.
Yeah, one more challenge that I can share with you all is that I think that there's, like Girish said, right, there's a lot of talent in the country. There is no dearth of talent. But when it comes to residential programs, we faced a lot of challenges from the parents themselves in terms of whether they wanted to allow their kid to actually do that. The kid wanted to, but the parents were always hesitant, which is understandable, right? So, you're being sent to play football, they don't know what the education system is, and so on. So those are challenges that any academy would face, and we also face the same challenges. But I think that, like Girish pointed out, our melange of education, life skills and football is the secret sauce or the curriculum that we're trying to put together, and I think that has a different effect on the parents, and we believe that the next batch of students, we will never face that challenge, given that we try to solve the problem through an integrated facility like this, where all the three can coexist and the development of the child in the first place, more importantly, the athlete development life cycle can continue.
Out of this 50, how many are there from our own Tamil Nadu?
Close to 20% of the recruits are from our state, Tamil Nadu. They are from areas like Thuthur, a few from Madurai. There are a lot of people from Tamil Nadu. Neighboring state Kerala also has a lot of recruits. We have a sizable number from Northeast as well.
Anybody from Chennai?
There are 5 kids from Chennai alone who have been selected from various parts of Chennai.
Okay. Nowadays, children are having a food habit like that, fast food, and then lifestyle, and then mobile phone addiction. So, how do you give rehabilitations to them to survive football?
I can take a stab of what we're doing, and if it is something we can do. First of all, at FC Madras Academy, see, this is the beauty of having a residential program. We control the environment in which the children are there. So, first of all, starting from nutrition, so we have, and I think if you have not already shared, we should share the nutrition plan with them. Like, the children actually eat 11 meals a day. These are athletes, but when I say meals, like 6 or 7 of those meals are short meals. Like before, like it could be a date and a nut in the morning before going to the game, just that, or a boiled egg and a glass of milk after the game. So this is a fully designed nutrition program to make sure that they're eating healthy stuff. There's a lot of boiled stuff, no fried stuff, right? So it is delicious, but it is not junk food delicious. So that is number one. So nutrition is controlled. Mobile phone access. See, basically, children actually are kept super busy, right? From being on the football field to being in class to playing chess to using the swimming pool. So there is actually like 1 hour of mobile time every day. And the mobile is not with the child all the time. So it's with the wardens and it's all locked. So the children actually get 1 hour of mobile phone time every day to talk to their parents and family and maybe play some games or whatever. But they don't get access to all they provide. Came from the designer. See, it presented 2 options. One, I think showing Central Station or beach. The other one showing the squirrel. And the designer's original inspiration was, hey, for any football club, you either pick a local place or an animal that is found in the region. And and the pitch from the designer was, the Indian palm squirrel is found in abundance in the southern states. And because we are running a youth academy, the squirrel actually represents a small animal, but they are incredibly fast and agile. So that is really something that you want as a football player. And it's impossible to catch a squirrel. Like it's so nimble that it will run away. So I think those attributes really made us excited. And then there was one killer attribute, which is squirrels have peripheral vision, which means they can see, they know what's happening around them. And that is essential for a football player, as they are controlling the ball, to know where to pass the ball and also know what's happening behind them. So we felt that, hey, the squirrel actually captures what we want: youth academy, agility, speed, being nimble, as well as having peripheral vision. Now, once we did that, we were happy, and this happened like 2 years ago when we unveiled the logo, and we had T-shirts with the logo, etc., and we didn't worry about that. But I will tell you, this whole campus being squirrel themed happened 2 weeks ago, and this was when our facility team was looking at signages. So they were saying, okay, how will we do the signages? And they were saying, okay, we'll do hybrid turf, go straight, artificial turf, go left. And I was thinking, hey, I'm a product manager, so I was thinking, hey, when a user comes in, how will they know how to go to, whether to go to hybrid turf, or they don't care about the hybrid turf. So we thought, okay, we will come up with names like main field or practice field, and then it sounded boring. So then we saw, okay, one of the things we always like in UK, like when Chelsea plays in Stamford Bridge and Manchester United plays in Old Trafford. So I always like those cool names. So we're thinking, okay, let's come up with some cool names. We were looking at some legacy names, like some generic names like Legacy Stadium and Union Park. But then suddenly there was an idea saying, hey, why don't we do squirrel themed names? And I'll also tell you, that was the week that ChatGPT was released. I don't know if you don't know, ChatGPT is the new AI ML song. So I went to ChatGPT and said, suggest me squirrel themed names for football fields, and got more and more ideas. And then really what captured my all of our imagination was Scamper Park. So Scamper Park, we chose the name as the name for our main field, which is hybrid, with the gallery. And then Furry Field is a natural field, and Bushy Tail Meadow is basically the artificial field. So both Furry Field, Bushy Tail actually shows the smoothness of the surface. So once we did that, then we thought, okay, let's extend it. So I wanted to call the hostel Squirrel's Nest. But then I said, Google for, hey, what is Squirrel's Nest called? And thankfully there was an English word called Dray. So we called it Dray Hall. Because in the US University, my son lives in Harper Hall. Harper Hall is the name of this hostel. So we said, okay, Dray Hall is the hostel. And then there's a cafeteria. So what is Squirrel's favorite food? It's Acorn. So we said, okay, Acorn Cafe. And the 4 classrooms here, we said, okay, we'll call it Chestnut, Walnut, Pine Nut, and Hazelnut. So then we have these 4 classrooms. Then what is the name of the building? Okay, we said we'll call it Almond Learning Center. And this auditorium that we are in is Chatter. And the swimming pool or aquatic center is called Squirrel Splash. And the indoor, we said we'll call it Squirrel's Den. The performance center, which is yoga, fitness, and health, all 3 you saw is in the ground floor of the gallery. So it's in one block. So I thought, okay, we can call it in a nutshell. Everything is there in a nutshell. So then we said, okay, we'll call it Nutshell Yoga, Nutshell Fitness, and Nutshell Health. So I think and then we said, we all know that Manchester United will say Red Devils, right? So in India cricket team, we call them the Blues. So we wanted a name for the team, and we said, okay, Flying Squirrels is the name of our live team. So Scamper Park, home of the Flying Squirrels. So I can keep going on and on. I have so many more ideas, but I think we stopped at this point.
Ideas for you.
This squirrel themed idea started from me, but as a team we voted on names. There were so many other names we considered and rejected, but everybody loved Scamper Park, so that's the favorite for all of us. And by the way, I also missed the business center. They are calling Oakwood Business Center because oak tree is where Acorn Nut is found, so squirrels love to go to the Oakwood.
What is the secret between 3 lines?
Oh, basically we thought it signifies the 3 pillars of our academy, which is football, like sport, education, and life skills.
How to becoming to the next generation, so national football players. So new generation, so how to becoming training for in this stadium. So
Yeah, so definitely our hope is if we do our job well, in the next few years, 3-4 years, we should see many of the we want to see many of the FC Madras players play for India. And I'll tell you, 2 of the leaders that we are actually announcing today, we have seen it in the press kit. One is our technical director and head coach, Venkatesh Shanmugam. He was the head coach for Indian Arrows and Indian under-20 team. He was, and our CEO, Abhishek Yadav, was General Secretary of AIFF, but also he was the Chief Operating Officer for the Indian Arrows program. So, and today if you look at the Indian Arrows players, they're all playing for India, right? So we have a team which has done it in the past. Like, you remember the Under-17 World Cup that happened in India? So Indian Arrows was playing. So I forgot the year in which it was maybe 2017 or so many of those players from Indian Arrows are now playing for ISL clubs or playing for India. So we definitely feel that we have the right team in place to incorporate. We also want to go above and beyond. Our investments in technology, I don't know how much we covered technology for you today. In the field, we have the Pixelot artificial intelligence camera, which automatically records the game and sends all the snippets to the video analysis lab. The coaches can actually have post-match learning sessions for the players to say, hey, what they should have done. And suppose if some player, it's a demo running downstairs, you can see a player who should have run faster was not running, right? So the coach can point out to those strategies, mistakes that the players are making, so that we can learn. So pixel art is just one of the technology we invested in. There is something called huddle, where every day morning during training, if a coach wants the team to practice, let's say a defense drill, so we show the players. We can talk and explain, but showing, you have to understand, India is also very unique. We have players coming from so many different states. How can we communicate clearly to all the players who actually will know how to play? So we show that huddle, we'll show the drill. So footballers understand, okay, this is what they're supposed to do, and then they go into the drill. Huddle helps with that. And we have a player management system called Acre Pro. So we are introducing a lot of technology and sports science, which also I believe we are, for some of these technologies, we are the first partner in India also. So these are all used in Europe, in the top academies in the world. So I would say, and thanks to DJ, the team used the COVID period to really benchmark against the best in the world. So we did not look at what we can buy or what we can afford. We looked at, okay, if we want to make a change, what is the best that is available in the world right now? Like what is Southampton? DJ visited Southampton to see how the locker rooms are designed. One of his friends was there. I went to Qatar during FIFA, met the chief technology officer, Mr. Niaz, who actually showed me through the FIFA command center. So I want to go and visit and take the team to Aspire Foundation. Qatar has done a fantastic job. So we are learning from people who have done it before us, and we want to make sure that we make this change. And I'll tell you one thing, there's a fantastic quote that the media will love, and this was, I heard it in FIFA, right? When I went to that FIFA command center, there were 250 people who were managing security, lighting, audio, video. You could shut down an entire stadium, you could evacuate or lock people in. You can make an announcement on all the TVs at once, or you can make an announcement on one TV. If there is some problem, they can zoom in and see in which seat, which fellow is creating the problem. That control center, 250 employees were sitting. I tell you, 190 of those were India. So, India may not have actually run a World Cup or hosted a World Cup, but Indians have definitely run the last FIFA World Cup. I would say that it was run by Indians, 190 people.
That's fantastic news.
All facilities in these stadiums available. Okay.
There's no fee for the children. They're all on full scholarship from the FC Madras Charitable Trust. So they don't pay to use any of this.
Sorry, connect with the government. I'm not a government.
No, we have not yet, but we are talking to the sports. I'm very clear that a project like this cannot change India, right? This is, everybody has to come together and do it. We need the help of the government, we need the help of All India Football Federation, we need Tamil Nadu Football Association to help. And we are all working together, and we need to work with all other clubs. So this is about the country and about the future of football in India. So it is definitely a project where everybody has to come together to make it. Yeah. So by June we will have 75 children here.
Okay.
So and when these kids grow up under 13, under 15, so we are not going to send them out at 15. So we will form the under 16 or under 18 team also.
So they will also be given a scholarship. Huh?
Yes. So this entire facility that you are seeing, 113 capacity, is for, so in summer, when the kids go home, we will conduct like 1 week, 2 week summer camp for community engagement. So that will be on a paid basis where people living in, say, anothe, who can't come every day, so they can send their kids for 1 week residential program. So that may be on the chargeable basis. That's more for think about community engagement, which is very important for any sport to succeed, as well as it is the entry system, right? We want more players to come, so we'll have entry level, intermediate level, beginner level and intermediate level programs, so that we can spot talent. We also conduct baby leagues, like last month. Yeah. So we did a baby league. How many children participated? How many teams? Yeah. So 700 players, 35 teams. So we actually saw really young talent, right? So children who are 6 years, 7 years, 8 years old, so we can spot them. We don't want to bring those young children to the academy now, but they can continue to play and we will keep in contact with them, and when they reach, like say 12, 13, whenever they are ready, so we could actually, if they continue to play and develop, then we can invest in.
What about the green energy you are having? Solar energy.
Oh, yeah, so the solar energy is powering, it's not powering all of this, we don't have, it's covering all the common points, like the street lights,
So the street lights are all solar powered, and then we also have the solar powered showers for hot water. But mainly around the sustainability journey, sustainability not just in terms of, so we also planted 1,800 saplings across the entire campus, and we also have an STP plant that will add to this entire sustainability piece. And Miyawaki forest, which is very, very unique in nature, and that will also contribute to this entire sustainability piece. So the future plans are also to have organic farmers, so that we can also start to self-sustain our food produce around the campus.
Dapat itu,